Hey everybody, I'm Brandon Alter of The Spiritual Gaze, and I am so happy to be back and offering you your Numinous Monthly Tarotscope, and we are diving into Virgo season. So here's a quick little witch tip, which is to notice what sign the moon is in whenever the sun shifts into a new sign. So when the sun shifts from Leo into Virgo, the moon is going to be in Pisces. And the reason we want to pay attention to that is because knowing the moon sign for the moment that the sun shifts gives us a sense of like the secondary energy of the season. So it's like Virgo season as brought to you by a Pisces moon. It's basically the chart for the month ahead. And so the thing that's interesting about Pisces and Virgo is that they're polar opposite signs. Virgo is the sign of the body. Pisces is the sign of the soul. Virgo is the sign of hard work and harvest. Pisces is the sign of imagination and dreaming. And so all month long, we're going to be exploring the balance between these two themes. So Virgo season is a really great time to get to work. We're going to have Mars in Virgo for basically all of Virgo season. Mars is the planet of how you get shit done. And so there really is a great opportunity to get a lot of work done. If you've been dreaming and feeling inspired and using Cancer and Leo season to kind of generate your creative interest, now's the time to put your money where your mouth is, or at least put some pencil to paper or some paint to canvas. You will be surprised how productive you can be in Virgo season, how much you can get done, especially with Sun and Mars in Virgo. The other thing I want to just talk about in terms of Virgo energy is that high vibe Virgo is the sign of the healer. Virgo is really about alignment. And you might notice that the world is full of chaos and full of grief. And Virgo season comes at a perfect time when we can start to heal our own grief. Not so much by addressing the grief itself, but by holding space for all of it. You see, grief is a process that has its own timetable. You can't force it to move through you faster, but you can allow it. And so I thought that was a really interesting thing to be thinking about as we look to the card for the month ahead, which is the Knight of Cups reversed, which is really where we allow ourselves to move through emotional processes. The Knight of Cups is the only knight that isn't moving. This knight is standing still. And so what this means is we can move emotions when we stand still and allow ourselves to receive them. So you might find that you're processing more than just your personal grief, but you might be an empath who's processing the collective grief. And you just have to understand that that's where we are right now. That having been said, the duality here between Pisces and Virgo that we're going to be experiencing all season is to not let yourself necessarily get swept away, to get back to work, to remember that there's going to be a lot of people, places, things, and ideas, events even, that are vying for your energy and your attention. And if you can embody this night here and find your still center, you might find that you're actually able to move through a lot of the challenges that are going to be presented to us. All of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, they're all retrograde right now, meaning that they're moving backwards in the sky, which means that it's time for integration. It's time to revisit old themes. And so you might find, and I usually do when the Knight of Cups shows up, that we're being triggered. We're noticing old triggers. And there's a phrase that says, if it's hysterical, it's historical. Meaning that if you're having a hysterical reaction to something, it probably has roots earlier in your lifetime. And so this is the time to invite those emotions in, to not block them, to not try to force them out, but to invite them into your heart, the rage, the sadness, the despair, the frustration, the confusion, and really see what they're all about. If you can do that, you will find that you are truly embracing the Virgo invitation, which is healing. And in doing so, you reach across the zodiac to touch that Pisces soul. You see, opposite signs are really the same sign. They just exhibit in a different way. And so here we are, being asked to sit with our emotions, to sit with grief until it makes sense to us, until it changes into something else and leaves. Have a beautiful month. I'm so happy to be back with you all, and take care of yourselves and each other.